Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gayan Bagayas, and now I'm going to discuss about the second domain of learning objectives, which is the psychomotor skills. And in 17th century, E. Simpson, Dave, and A.S. Harrow recommended categories for the psychomotor domain. And later on, I will be discussing about the categories contributed by Simpson, and the other two categories by Dave and Harrow will be discussed by Mr. Vincent de Besa. And according to Simpson in 1972, psychomotor domain includes physical movement, coordination, and use of the motor skill areas. And development of these skills requires practice and is measured in terms of speed, precision, distance, procedures, or techniques in execution. And as you can see the pyramid diagram here, these are the levels of psychomotor domain categories under the contribution of Simpson. And this is the highest level down to the lowest one, follow respectfully from origination down to perception. So later on, I'm going to discuss each of it from lowest to high level or simple to complex. So what is psychomotor domain objectives? First, it discrete physical functions, reflects actions and interpretative movements. Second, these types of objectives are concerned with the physically encoding of information, with movement, or with activities where the gross and fine muscles are used for expressing or interpreting information or concepts. The third one refers to natural autonomic responses or reflexes. Also, psychomotor learning domain objectives are concerned with how a student controls or moves his body, and emphasize some muscular or motor skills such as use of precision, instruments or tools, or athletic performance. It includes examples of like typing 25 words per minute, printing letters correctly, painting a picture, or dribbling a basketball. So the first one is the perception or the awareness. This is the ability to use the sensory cues to guide motor activity. For examples, it detects nonverbal communication cues, estimate where a ball will land after it is thrown, and then moving to the correct location to catch the ball. Also, it adjust heat of stove to correct temperature by smell and taste of food. Adjust the height of the forks or forklift by comparing where the forks are in relation to the pallet. So these are the keywords to indicate that it's under the perception. Chooses, describes, detects, differentiates, distinguishes, identifies, isolates, relates, and selects. Next one is set. It is the readiness to act. It includes mental, physical, and emotional sets. For examples, knows and acts upon a sequence of steps in a manufacturing process. Recognize one's abilities and limitations. Shows desire to learn a new process or motivation. But note that these subdivisions of psychomotor is closely related with the responding to phenomena subdivision of the affective domain. But here are the keywords that indicates or that this is belong to the category of set, like it begins, displays, explains, moves, proceeds, reacts, shows, states, and volunteers. Next one is the guided response, the early stages in learning a complex skills that includes imitation and trial and error. Adequacy of performance is achieved by practicing. For examples, performs a mathematical equation as demonstrated, follows instructions to build a model, responds hand signals of instructor while learning to operate a forklift. And these are the keywords that indicate that this is part of the guide response. Copies, traces, follows, react, reproduce, and responds. The fourth one is the mechanism. This is the basic proficiency. This is the intermediate stage in learning a complex skill. Learned responses have become habitual and the movements can be performed with some confidence and proficiency. And example for it is use a personal computer, repair a leaking faucet, and drive a car. So these are the keywords of the mechanism. It assembles, calibrates, contracts, dismantles, displays, fastens, fixes, grinds, hits, manipulates, measures, mends, mix, organize, and sketch. Next is the complex over response. It is the level of expert. The skillful performance of motor acts that involve complex movements, patterns. Proficiency is indicated by a quick, accurate, and highly coordinated performance requiring a minimum of energy. Okay, for examples, maneuvers a car into a tight parallel parking spot, operates a computer quickly and accurately, displays competence while playing the piano. So these are the keywords that indicate that this is part of the said category. It assembles, builds, calibrates, constructs, dismantles, displays, and fastens. And these are common and same with the mechanism. Note that the keywords are the same as mechanism, but will have adverbs or adjectives that indicate that the performance is quicker, better, more accurate. Next is the second to the highest level, which is the adaptation. Skills are well developed and the individual can modify movement patterns to fit special requirements. Okay, for examples, responds effectively to unexpected experiences, modifies instruction to meet the needs of the learners, perform a task with a machine that was not originally intended to do, like machine is not damaged and there is no danger in performing the new task. So these are the keywords under the adaptation: adapts, alters, changes, rearrange, reorganize, revise, and varies. And we are now to the highest level, which is the origination. It is creating new movement patterns to fit a particular situation or specific problem. Learning outcomes emphasize creativity based upon highly developed skills. For examples, constructs a new theory, develops a new and comprehensive training programming, creates a new gymnastic routine. And these are the keywords under the origination. It arranges, builds, combines, composes, constructs, creates, and designs. So that's all the classification of educational objectives in the psychomotor domain under the contribution of Simpson. So just keep in touch because I'm giving the floor to Mr. Devesa to discuss the other two categories contributed by Dave and Harrow. So thank you for listening and I hope you learned something.